Y ahora pasamos a conocer al equipo de Lengow, que ahora os los voy a presentar. Lo han puesto por el chat, yo lo vuelvo a recordar para que también lo sepáis. La ponencia de ellos va a ser en inglés, pero os van a poner ahora un link aquí de traducción, ¿vale? Para que en todo momento podáis llevar seguimiento y entendimiento de todo lo que se va contando, y que junto con ello las preguntas también las podéis hacer en español y yo directamente se las pasamos directamente a ellos en inglés de cara a las contestaciones, y lo podéis ver también en el servicio de traducción. Sin más dilación, creo que ya está aquí Frederic Clement. Hi, Frederic.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Javier. How are you doing?
Fine.
Do you hear me well?
Yeah, thanks for coming for this amazing event of Marketplace Expansion, first edition. Just to introduce, I'm going to introduce yourself first, just a little in Spanish, and after what I said in English. Frederic es el director de estrategia de Lengow. Al final es una herramienta tecnológica que permite una alta escalabilidad dentro de lo que son los marketplaces. Frederic will talk about the key strategy points of how to scale a project from e-commerce internationally, and in a way also how the integration and automatization are essential to optimize all the procedures and all the performance of the channels. So also he has been expert in marketing, strategy, and growth, and now is director of an amazing tech called Lengow. And I don't want to have more words. Frederic, I'll let you to explain and you start showing the people how you see the future of it.
Well, thank you very much, Javier, and thank you for the kind words. It's always great to hear the good stuff about Lengow. First, I would like to apologize because I would love to speak Spanish, but I cannot speak any word. So thank you for inviting a French guy who won't speak any Spanish words, but I'll do my best. If any questions, feel free to ask in English. I will do my best to answer it, and more than happy to get you in touch with our Spanish team if needed. I will start showing my screen to start my presentation. I hope you can see it. And as a short introduction, I will introduce Lengow, because obviously we're not as well known, as famous as Amazon, who speaks previously. So I wanted to tell you a few words about Lengow. So we got born a little bit more than 10 years ago in France. So we're the European leader, and today we operate in 42 countries. Beyond numbers, what's interesting is that we help a lot of brands and retailers across Europe succeed and sell on various marketing channels. And so we're very happy, to evolve and to develop our offering over time, because we basically grew with our clients and partners. More importantly, the Spanish market is always, a key market for Lengow. So we very early in our journey, we invested a lot in this market. Of course, we started with our French, clients, Carrefour, Fnac, and so on, who were already present in Spain. But we rapidly, invested into a native team of salespeople, account management people, support people who are Spanish native, to help our clients and partners in Spain. And by helping them, it's obviously helping them sell on the Spanish market, but also sell all over Europe. And so cross-border business is very key for us today, and we help many different brands and retailers in Spain, sell in France, sell in Germany, sell in the UK, and any strong e-commerce markets. So that's why also we're here today. And again, thanks for the invitation for this great event, because we really see the Spanish market as a very interesting market for the e-commerce in general, and of course for Lengow. As an introduction, so as Robert said, we're really focusing on product data, and our vision is to really turn product data, which may seem a bit theoretical, as orders, which are very concrete, because orders is about cash for brands and retailers, and what we see that when e-commerce today and also commerce is made of multiple touch points. So if you think about the journey your clients may have, they would have multiple touch points with your clients, and we really want you as a brand and as a retailer to deliver the best experience for them. And so if you want to deliver the best experience, you need to transfer, the most accurate product data. And that's basically what we're here for, to really empower you. And by you, I mean, the marketing team, the e-commerce team, to provide your clients and your prospect with the best product data. And it's not easy because, I mean, what we call the digital shelf, which is all the landscapes where, your clients may appear. It's more and more complex. So you have to monitor, you have to understand, and you have to master, those various environments to really succeed. And so those various environments, if you think about, the consumer journey, pre-purchase to the post-purchase phase, you will see that it will be hundreds, if not thousands, of touch points where your products will be displayed. It can be one product, it can be your full product catalog, it can be part of it. And so if you think about, the teams which are involved into your company, it's, various people that need to deliver, what's expected by your consumer. And so we're really focusing on providing you with some autonomy and also speed, because we see more and more post-COVID, speed really matters. So if you really want to address the market in the proper way, time to market is very important. So autonomy and speed is something we really focus on. And so if we come back to, the brands themselves, what do you define by the digital shelf? It's basically, all the environment where products are displayed. If you think about a brand such as Camper, obviously they would like and they would do their best to display their own products on their own websites. But they would also need to display product data on retailers' websites. So if you think about El Corte Inglés, for example, in Spain, if Camper, provides a product to El Corte Inglés, they would need to transfer product data to El Corte Inglés for them to really succeed. It's the same for marketplaces. So we just talked about Amazon's. If Camper, is selling as wholesaler or as seller directly on marketplaces, again, there would be another kind of product data that we need to transfer and update, not only for Amazon, but all of the marketplaces where your clients may buy, actually. And finally, marketing channels. It's even more complex because about marketing channels to drive traffic, either to your own website or to your marketplace pages or whatever. There are tons of marketing channels. You may think about Google, you may think about Facebook, Instagram, but it's an environment story. So now it's about Snapchat, it's about TikTok. And so all those marketing channels, they have their own code, their own technology. And that's something you should embrace to be really successful. So that's a lot of a challenge for brands, because that's not just about, in theory, they have multiple touch points. If you look, what's happening, especially in Europe, if you want to address, all the traffic from visitors, you see that, it's split between brands' website, between marketplaces' website, about retailers. And for each categories, you have multiple touch points, because obviously you may have market leaders such as such as Amazon on marketplaces, but for each category you have challengers that may need that may address different targets and so on. So that's the challenge. It's really to adapt your merchandising strategy to every single touch point, again, to really succeed and stand out against the competitions. So as a brand, you need to connect to a lot of channels and marketplaces, but especially if you are a big brand or big retailers, as a source of data, you also need to connect to a wide variety of technologies. So of course, your e-commerce website, it can be also your PIM, it can be your ERP, it can be some partners. And so that's what we address, is really to make things simple for you to transfer this data from one point to multiple points and to really adapt it to your customer expectations. So we talk a lot about theory and so on. So what we wanted to look at Lengow as a European player is, what's happening, and do we really see the same level of maturity across, across verticals? And when we look at our client portfolio, we look at brands and retailers we were working with, and fashion and sports are highly ranked. And when you look at the data at the market level, and those are data shared by RetailX recently about the European market, you clearly see some some difference according verticals and product categories. And you may see that, you know, fashion categories, sport, consumer electronics, they basically on top of the ranking. And if you go down, you know, you may see a wide variety of categories. And so what's interesting is that, of course, you know, you have your own competitions. You have, you know, the e-commerce market as general, which is, you know, evolving and which is accelerating. And we know post-COVID that is going faster and faster. But we still see some great discrepancies between one category and another. And we really think that, you know, of course, you know, fashion, there's a lot of marketplaces, a lot of marketing channels that, you know, may drive, you know, fashion sales today. But we really think that over time there will be more and more opportunities for either, you know, lower maturity verticals or maybe niche also marketplaces. And that's true for B2C today. And obviously B2C is very big for e-commerce, but we see a lot of growth in the B2B. And I was having the previous session about, you know, Amazon business. Amazon business, if you look at the US market, is a massive opportunity. And so we see a lot of, you know, initiative in Europe, Amazon obviously, but also Cdiscount or Mano Mano in the DIY industry, addressing, you know, the B2B markets and having a great success. If we talk about maturity, it's also important to look at, you know, how today brands embrace the marketplace model. So if you think about the brands being sold on Amazon, historically it was a lot about, you know, what they call 1P, which is a vendor model, which is you as a brand you sell wholesale. So you ship, you know, to Amazon, you know, thousands of the product, and Amazon will specify the price. I will take care of the logistics and so on. What we see is that more and more brands embrace the 3P model, which is about selling directly through the marketplace. And so we see more and more brands, you know, controlling their pricing, the merchandising on marketplaces. And of course, it's not, you know, black and white. And so we see a lot of brands doing a little bit of both, which is okay. I will sell part of my inventory wholesale to Amazon, and I will sell the other part direct as a seller. What's important to know is beyond the technical aspects of it and so on. It's, you know, the scope is much wider when you sell direct as a seller, and logistic is obviously a key topic if you decide to sell direct, because you basically move from a B2B model to a B2C where you have to ship to the clients, you have to manage returns and so on. So that's something you should take into account as a brand, because that's really key for success. Obviously, marketplaces, they offer fulfillment capabilities, you know, Amazon FBA, Cdiscount, and others, Amazon, Zalando ZFS offer, you know, fulfillment capabilities to help you in this logistic part. But still, it's very important to manage. And the last part that we also think is key and is sometimes, you know, underestimated is the support. Because when you sell direct to the end consumer, you have also to answer the questions before and after the purchase. And so usually, you know, brands are not, you know, fully equipped to do so. So that's something they should anticipate it into their business plan when they decided to go direct, because it may have an impact on your performances and your reputation on marketplaces. So once since we draw, you know, the landscape of what, you know, brands have to do, what brands can do today on marketplaces, if we think about product data, you still think about, you know, okay, I have my product data, which is my product pictures, I have my description, my titles, and so on. But okay, if I do it right, you know, if I do it okay, you know, what does it mean to do it, you know, in a better way? Is it just about, you know, having a better layout on the marketplaces? We clearly don't think so. And if you look at numbers, you know, you may see that, you know, some fix on product content and product data may have a strong impact on your performances. And by performances, it's not just about, you know, the number of page views or whatever. It's fully, you know, the number of sales and traffic and conversions, which is basically money. So if you want to improve your product, your return on investment on marketplaces, you need to invest into your product data. And so that's data that we got from Profiteer actually, and that clearly show that, you know, fixing things that could could be seen as more stuff, such as images. Do I provide 2 or 3 images? What the quality of images and so on? It clearly have an impact on your sales. And sales is important, but we see more and more that marketplaces is about also investing into their paid ads programs. And so if you invest lots of budget into your ads, obviously the better your conversions, the better your return on investment. So it's very important. And previously I was talking also about logistics. And if you think about returns, the more accurate your data, the lower the return rate, obviously, because if your clients clearly identify your product characteristic, what your product is about, and so on, you increase the odds that there won't be any deceptions when they get your product. And so again, it's about maximizing investments, but also optimizing your logistic costs. And we all know that break-even can be a challenge on marketplaces. So if you want to sell profitably on marketplaces, that's really something you should take into account. And if you think about selling on marketplaces, it's about product and it's also about orders. And what we see is that today, and even more post-COVID, the consumer, they want to get their orders through different ways. And so you have to adapt to it because their expectations are very high. And so they want to be able to order, on your eShop. They may want to receive it in your brick and mortar store. They may choose to return it, I don't know, on a post office close to them and so on. And so that's, these workflows are getting more and more complex for you. And that's something you should embrace because again, if you don't provide your consumer with this offering, they would just go somewhere else and they would go to brands that, adapt to it. And so as for product data, orders data, it implies a lot of tools, internal tools, external tools that you need to not only connect but also orchestrate, because it's not going from point A to point B. It's really defining workflows that make sense for your own fulfillment capabilities, but more importantly for your consumer. So that's the complexity that we manage on a daily basis at Lengow. And we do it for a wide variety of brands and verticals. For example, Clarins, which is a beauty brand that you may know, they had this challenge about how do I activate more than 50, maybe 70 more distribution and marketing channels across a lot of markets, because it's a global brand, so they had this challenge. And for them, it was really important to be able to have this control, but also to have this autonomy as a marketing team, because you may think that Clarins, when they decide to display products on Pinterest or Instagram, they really want to control the experience, and they want to provide a similar experience or a similar quality of experience as they would do it in their own website or in their own stores. So that's really something which is important to them. Another thing that I mentioned previously is time to market. We know that it's important for brands and for retailers to go fast on the market for various reasons, because they may have challenges. Their products, a lot of products that they didn't sell properly, so they need to activate new channels. In fashion, especially in fast fashion, you see product assortments which are evolving quite rapidly. So if you want to maximize your sales, you need to say it fast. And so that's also one of the challenges we tackle, is that how we enable brands to activate their product data and that they activate new channels as fast as possible. And it is a mix of technology, of course, but also services that we can provide them with to really, have this expertise to go fast, to focus on things that matters, to actually sales. Because it's not only about, how do I display my product on marketplaces, is how do I actually focus sales. And sometimes we do it by our own, but we also have this open platform approach, which enables us to activate apps into Lengow for features or technologies that we don't do internally. So, for example, we have a Party apps, and Party is a company specialized in price monitoring and repricing on marketplaces. And we activated them on a DIY brand named Warcraft. They are selling across Europe on multiple marketplaces, and the impact on them was that they really wanted to increase their buy box run rate. So to have high visibility on Amazon and also other marketplaces, and to do so, price is obviously something which is important. So they really wanted to monitor what was happening compared with their competitors, to price almost in real time in a proper way. And obviously, given the size of the catalogs, the number of marketplaces, and the number of markets, they were live on 5, and they are live on more than 5 countries today. They couldn't do it manually, so they had to do it automatically, and that's why they leveraged Lengow and Party to monitor prices across a wide variety of marketplaces and to adapt their pricing strategy for each market, each day, each hour. So, if I can do a summary of what we really want to do, is to really close the loop between product data and sales. And so our mission and what we see that the better the product data, the better your listings on marketplaces, the better your ads, and so the better your ROI and sales. And what's importantly is that we really want also to leverage sales data to improve your product data. So it's some kind of a feedback loop for you to really maximize your sales and your performances on marketplaces and marketing channels. And so Lengow as a platform, it's you have 2 pillars on the platform. The first one is product data, and product data is what we call cold data. So cold data are basically data which don't change over time for products, so product attributes, pictures, and so on. But also, and more importantly, hot data, which are data which fluctuates over time. So it's inventory level, it's prices, and on the other side, it's sales data, which are marketplace orders that we would centralize into the platform. There's also your own website sales that can be imported into Lengow, among others through a Google Analytics plugin. And so what we really do is that we synchronize everything, and I mentioned a few logos, but we're connected to almost 2,000 partners today, and we make the products and the sales data flow across all your tools and all your partners. Again, we're not a technology company. It's highly technical, but we want to make things easy for marketers and e-commerce experts. So that's why we really invested a lot on our platform, on the interface, to make things easier and to make things very fast for you as a marketer to choose your products, activate new channels, and adapt your product content to every one of them. We also provide with free tools and advices to our clients and prospects. So, for example, we have a small tool which is freely available on our website, which is called the Marketplace Finder, which will help you choose which marketplace makes sense for you product categories and for the markets you want to target. So, for example, if you want to sell, electronics in France, you see that Cdiscount and Fnac and Amazon makes sense. But if you want to sell fashion in Germany, you see that Auto or Zalando are much more appropriate. So that's a free tool we provide you with to really have this big picture of what the opportunity is. And we go even further with a product that we announced a few months ago, which is Insights by Lengow, which not only provide you with some recommendation about marketplaces, but will also provide you with some estimates about what you should expect in terms of sales for these marketplaces. And we also advise you about product selections. So we know that activating a new marketplace is something which may cost a lot, especially if you want to activate it on your full product catalog. So that's why for each marketplace we will provide you with advices on which products you should start with to really have an impact. And we really see some great success. We had this story recently with Yepon, an Italian company that started selling in France, and we provided them with insights about, you should start with a Fnac and Cdiscount, I think, on a subset of products, and they saw great success, and they increased their sales by 15% over a few weeks. So that's really what we really want to provide the market with. It's more, of course, there's this first level of this first layer of product, which is how do we connect to marketplaces and channels. But more importantly, is about business recommendations, because again, it's not about having your product listed. It's about turning product data into sales, and we think that we have a lot of technology, a lot of data, a lot of algorithm to provide you with these recommendations. So at the end of the day, you have the full journey about how you start with Lengow. And at the very beginning is about how to increase your visibility, because we know that there are multiple marketing channels. So our clients usually start with one, and then they say, okay, I need to be visible on 3, 5, 10 different marketing channels. So first is about how do we ensure that you're fully connected to the marketing channels that really matters to you. Then is about how do you improve your conversion rate. And as I was saying, it's about how do you improve the experience on your product pages, how do you improve, the selection of products you provide with marketplaces. And so that's how, our clients really start sales to take off. And then the two last parts is about, cross-border. The first one is about cross-border. So again, I would say more than 70% of our clients today, they do cross-border business. So they will sell from one country to another. And so we help them sell on those countries. We help them activate the right marketplaces because, as I said, we have, local experts, or we have native Spanish people for the Spanish market, but it's the same for France, for the UK, for Germany, and all big markets in Europe. And so that's all we also help our clients expand to new markets. And the last part is, how do you automate things? Because we all know that there's lots of manual stuff to do on a daily basis to really succeed on marketplaces. And so the Lengow platform enables you to, automate daily tasks that may be, time-consuming, to enable you to really focus on what matters, which is your products, your sales, your clients. And that's what we do on a daily basis, and we do it at scale. So that's why we really think that product data is something which is key for success. We see it every day. We see some great successes with brands and retailers, and I do hope that you as a brand, as a seller on the Spanish market, you experience the same. And I hope that you enjoy this small presentation, and I'm available for any questions. So thanks a lot for your time, and happy to answer any question if needed.
Thanks a lot, Frederic. I think a lot of things are very interesting what you mentioned, based on product data. Afterwards, the scale up. I mean, there's a lot of platforms. There's a lot of new marketplace building on. There's an e-commerce, different types of models are joining together. So I think it's crucial. And as we said, growing means also growing with technology. And that side of needs, I think there's a threat for the companies to how to adopt all this as fast as possible.